Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news global trade volumes are turning downward and the declines are deepening. But first, in the US, the early November reading on consumer sentiment was nearly identical to last month's and at an average 2019 level. American consumers did have a slightly more positive outlook for their economy, which was offset by a slightly less favourable outlook for their own personal finances. American wholesale inventories continue to climb, up almost 5% in a year, although the most recent data suggests the rise may be easing. In Washington, there are muddled messages coming from the US administration. Officials have been talking up the imminent trade deal with the Chinese that includes tariff rollbacks, but the president has said he isn't considering such rollbacks. In China, the international trade activity in October came in much better than expected. Exports were down only marginally and imports fell more than 6% year on year, but that was a smaller decline than for September. As a result, their trade surplus swelled. The politically sensitive surplus with the US was little changed. China's consumer prices spiked higher than expected in October. They rose 3% in September, and analysts had expected a 3.2% rise in October. But in the end, they rose 3.8% in October, driven by a 15% rise in food prices. Pork prices have doubled. Beef prices are up 20% and lamb prices are up 16% year on year. These rises hit rural areas much harder than the cities. However, for core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, pressures remain modest. In contrast, China's producer prices are fading. Year on year, they fell 1.6%, at a slightly faster rate than for September. In Canada, a range of data came in weaker than expected. That included jobs growth, building permits, and housing starts. And globally, air freight volumes remain weak. The September data reveals a 5% decline in international air freight year on year, and in the Asia-Pacific region, the decline was 5.9%, both steeper drops than for August. This is now 11 months of consecutive declines, the longest since the GFC. The US Treasury 10-year yield is at 1.95% and holding its recent higher levels. Gold is down another $3 to $1,459 an ounce. US oil prices little changed today at just over $57 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just over $62.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar will start the week at 63.3 US cents, and that is more than 1 cent lower than this time last week. On the cross rates, we're now at 92.3 Australian cents, and against the euro, 57.4 euro cents. That puts the trade-weighted index at just on 68.5. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.